far the Varus is going to be banned out. We'll see if Draven doesn't have to be added to the ban list, but you can just pick Kai'Sa at a different point in the draft.
Yeah, Rakan, Tom Kench were the last bans there. Ezreal actually added instead of Braum for Echo Fox.
That to me makes me wonder if they're actually just going to first pick Braum. You know, if it's up, do they actually value it that highly? You know, expecting perhaps a swap over to the Alistar or something like that. Braum can often be a very strong answer there. As Alistar engages, Braum jumps forward, puts up the shield.
I was going to say, I think it depends on that. And I think with the Rise ban, they are going to first pick Braum. A really nice read from Echo Fox.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I think just kind of in the flow of the series on some of the adaptations and changes that have been made, this does seem like a good takeaway. The Rise not going to be going Damonte's way for the first time in this series, so getting some respect for how well he has been playing it.
Yeah, which is so interesting because if you don't ban the Rise, then you get at least Rise or Braum, and you force them to pick one of them, which is, it's very interesting to me that TSM went for that.
I wonder if this is the Sven bot lane Swain. We have seen 2 games. He won them both during the regular season. I don't believe Bjergsen has played it just once. Okay, so 1 game on Bjergsen. So it could be a flex pick. Traditionally, this split, it has been more of a bottom lane carry.
And he was playing it a lot in solo queue, right? So it's been something that he picked up the mages quickly, even though they didn't show him on stage.
This is very, very interesting because it does make it a lot harder because this would be where you would lock in that Draven, right? But you don't actually know. So theoretically, you could go the Draven, then they just lock in like a Kai'Sa or whatever third pick if you go something a bit more passive.
Yeah, and they also got a really good combo on TSM's side. Trundle Pillar into the Swain pull, whether it's mid or bottom, is very, very potent in the early game. It just depends on which lane you kind of want to mess up with your jungle ganks. You want to go to the Swain lane.
Oh, wow. I love it. Stealing away the Kai'Sa after picking Kindred again for Dodo.
Throwing down the gauntlet there, saying, I'll show you how it's done. But what would be really spicy is if Sven locked in Draven right now and says, I'll show you how to play that counter matchup.
Yeah, I don't know about Draven into Braum, though. He's going to block a lot of the damage, soak it up. That's the one that is like, the Braum is kind of a stopper and allows you to pick the Kai'Sa yourself without too much fear of a Draven counter pick.
Oh, so Pyke, if we get the Pyke Swain is such a popular bottom lane because of some of the interactions with the passive. You get the Pyke hook, then you can actually pull them back even further and get this kind of super long distance pull. You can also pull off of the little dive forward with the stun coming out from Pyke. So can be a very popular combo. This was really used a lot by Bwipo and Hylissang for Fnatic over in the EU LCS, one of their most successful lanes, and TSM going to be bringing it out again here. They have played it once together in the NALCS.
And it's been a very potent combo, like you said. It's kind of the double tug, the pull backwards. And so the Kai'Sa, especially the Braum, has to watch out for that, right? Because the Braum will get pulled so far in that he will be out of range to W, and it'll force the Kai'Sa to walk up at that point. And that means you haven't potentially even committed your E as Pyke, and you can stun afterwards.
Yasuo as a ban here, very interesting. And that Trundle-Yasuo combo can be pretty powerful, and may be something that they're kind of worried about, as Damonte could be looking for a blind pick mid.
Feels like there's kind of 2 champions that signal to me when you ban a champion like Yasuo, Gnar and Zoe. Kind of the obvious one. Zoe obviously untouched this series, which is pretty insane given how prevalent she's been even in recent weeks. But a Syndra ban from TSM, so finally going to push Damonte down a few picks.
Have to remember though, it has been nerfed on 8.16, so a lot of people are going to have lower priority on the pick in general. But yeah, no Syndra, no Rise. Damonte going to have to show us something new.
I'm looking at Damonte's picks. 5 Syndra games, 2 Yasuo, 1 Zilean, 1 Akali, 1 Rise. The other champions that are left he's even played this split are 2 Zoe and 1 Cassiopeia, as well as a Galio. So he is going to have to show us something not just new in this series, but potentially something new for his career so far in this split.
Yeah, I mean, there's been 6 mid lane bans so far between Akali, Yasuo, LeBlanc, and so Azir seems like a pretty nice pick here, blind for Bjergsen. Damonte did not have an impressive Akali game. And this may be trying to bait that pick a little bit, saying that they are confident. Akali actually banned out, as you are now pointing out. But that, normally you think about Assassins as kind of the answer here. I'm not sure what he would go. Cassio can tend to struggle, like I've seen a lot of times in those matchups. Galio can be an answer.
And they're still waiting on it, though. This would be a blind pick rumble for Huni.
Okay.
It means that the Trundle doesn't get a big beef ball to use the ultimate against.
Maybe you go Galio then, as you are a pretty squishy team composition here. Galio can work pretty well with Kindred. You have the Kai'Sa diving in the backline that you can kind of follow up on. So could be a possibility, but we'll see if that is going to be the answer, or if he wants to go something more aggressive. I mean, Zed would be super hype. I doubt we'll get it, but
He did hover it. He does like the champion.
Ari.
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like Ari may be the
like
selection here. Demonte will show us something new. It is Ari.
I really like this pick here. The fact that it's got Assassin, it's going to play into the composition a little bit and give them a little more mobility. The wave clear early is good too.
Yeah, that wave clear, very important point to bring up is a lot of these compositions we haven't seen a big focus on wave clear, and being able to push in the Azir, kind of bully that Azir out and look for either the all-ins or the roams could be pretty powerful. It's going to be the Rumble versus Gnar matchup in the top lane. Haunts are getting counterpick once again.
And even though I like the counterpick for TSM, I think one of the nice things Demonte has done for Huni is got him off Cho'Gath duty. They banned Rumble twice before this series, and now Huni clearly feeling confident enough to play it blind.
Yeah, it was kind of, they picked the Trundle, banned away some of the carry top laners that Huni would play, and then they made it so that, oh, he's going to play a tank, and then he's just going to help Rig out. But now, this seems like mid-game for Echo Fox here. If they can have some good early game fights off the back of potentially Demonte or even this Braum and Dardoch, then they can have that acceleration from the Rumble top lane, because he's not about the split push, he's about the team fighting in like 15, 20-minute area.
And this is much more of a kind of composition that you expect to see from Echo Fox. This is the first time it looks like that regular season Echo Fox comp.
No tank.
All squishy. Yeah, support tank is the only one. There are so many threats that it can be very difficult to navigate these team fights. As an Azir, if you are protected, if you are sitting back and comfortably damaging, you'll do a lot, but Kai'Sa can jump on you. The Ari can dive back and assassinate you. The Rumble ultimate can get dropped on you. It's going to be tough for Bjergsen.
Yeah, but on the flip side, Echo Fox, they really are dealing with mostly magic damage. Swain, Azir, the Trundle isn't going to offer too much in terms of physical damage, and then Haunter's going to be potentially split pushing for most of the game. So if itemization comes through, which is mostly magic damage focused or magic resistance focused, Echo Fox can have some good mid-game fights.
Yeah, going to be really interesting. And if it does turn into that split push style of game for Haunter, there is not a lot of hard engage here whatsoever for Echo Fox. You can drop the equalizer to try to start something, or you can kind of jump in and start something, but that is not consistent.
I also liked what Dardoch said. You know what, TSM? That is the Bjergsen show. Gonna be this game if TSM have a strong performance. Yes, he is so much of their threat in the mid to late game here on this Azir. He's forced Demonte down to Ari, but we had kind of a slower than expected game one. Game two, much more slower paced. And before we get to game three, we're gonna throw it down to a sideline report with Ovely.
Thanks, guys. ThinkCard, I want to ask you, what was the attitude of the team like after the first game loss, and how are you guys able to refocus and pull off the game two?
So after the first game, we had a lot of early game pressure. So we really just had confidence that we just made a mistake around the Baron first turret, just decision making. And so we were just confident in ourselves that if we run it back with the same picks, we'll just play it better. And we did, and we'll have a cleaner early game and just go forward with those advantages.
So to that game one and game two's draft were pretty similar. So why the big changes in game three?
We just expected them to change things up, and we have so many different prepared drafts that we always just want to keep them on our toes because they just can't get comfortable and think we're going to do the same thing every game.
Well, thank you and best of luck to you. Back to the casters.
I absolutely love that mentality in a best of five, because if you just keep doing the same thing, not only are you kind of showing that this is the strategy that you are most comfortable with, you also, if you progress in the tournament, kind of show that these are the champions that they can shut you down on, and then you have to kind of change things up or prepare for the future.
Yeah, and one of the strengths of Echo Fox has always been that they're so hard to draft against, right? So they want to maintain that. They want to be able to show that they can perform on all these different champions, and it's going to be an exciting game. And for Bjergsen, the franchise player for TSM, you talked about a lot of the onus is on him to do that consistent damage in the late game, but he also has so many tools to keep him safe, so much zoning potential. Swain with an ultimate running forward, Grig in the front line, Mithy diving in. There's so many characters to create space.
Well, as we are here in the bot lane, certainly going to be on TSM's duo, trying to win out in the early pressure with two Dravens there first. The Kai'Sa lost, had a pretty good run in that lane with Smoothie. So now it's Venom's Mithy. They don't often dominate lane. They're really good at splitting. But if they can get ahead, they'll likely stay ahead.
Yeah, and with something like the Swain and the teleport, it's a lot of, they'll be able to go and push themselves to have this kind of big push out. Then they can go back, TP in with an item advantage, and the electrocute there. We've talked about it a bit already today, where it's a nerf in terms of the upfront damage that it will deal when you proc it, because it was every 60 seconds. Now you proc it every lane, and Azir has a pretty easy way to proc it with the W auto, Q auto, and then it will go off.
Yeah, definitely a nice trading pattern there, and both the mid laners. This is something we talked a lot about over the last couple of weeks, but you may be wondering why the Corrupting Potion starts, why not Doran's Ring. This is about the interaction actually with Time Warp Tonic in Inspiration Secondary. Very often people are going Corrupting Potion into Biscuits, and you have so much sustain as you see the first Biscuits pop up, that it becomes very difficult to push out. And if you have it and your opponent does not, you simply just kind of grind them down.
Yeah, and it gives a tiny bit of movement speed, which people don't always care too much about, but it can come up clutch in some situations. And we talked about the wave clear in this mid lane. Damonte's put 2 points into Q early instead of ranking up W, because he's more concerned with just getting that damage off. And there's the pull.
Nice hook into the slow. Also, the lightning comes out from Sven. Lost, eating a lot of pressure there, just under the turret.
And he's on Doran's Ring, right? So he is going for more of kind of like the mana wave clear style setup. He does not have a Doran shield to withstand a lot of this poke. So every time you take one of those trades, it is very, very punishing. And that's both his potions gone off of one trade.
Yeah, exactly. 2 potions with the Doran's Ring, but then also Smoothie, he's burning through potions as well. He's only got 1 left, and then he has the Relic Shield that has been giving a little bit of HP over, but that's the thing, is you got to whittle them down, play to the side.
The farm is also quite a big deal this early on. So Sven and Mithy really dominating this early laning phase, and we'll see Pen lost and Smoothie stabilized.
Because they've had losing lanes in both of the last 2 games where they've been under turret. Now they've reversed it, and it's an Infernal Drake. So an early Infernal Drake pickup off the bottom lane pressure would be exactly what TSM wants to start this game 3 off on the right foot.
We always have to think about, too, when it is about those early dragon fights, can top laners get to level 6? Do they have their TPs available? Because Rumble at 6 in that early team fight, very powerful. Ahri as well. First level 6 ultimate that's expended, very, very powerful.
Well, you can see this matchup again. Haunter struggling a little early on, actually, here. Huni, such a capable Rumble player here, but again, bot lane's going to continue to have action. Good block there from Smoothie. Actually gets hooked back there as well. Now the stun lining up, but Mithy just goes camouflage and walks away.
Yeah, you have to at least retaliate in some way. You can't just let the lane happen. But even with that said, Sven still very, very healthy. The potion's pretty much untouched for the side of TSM, and they even have biscuits to boot.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't used any potions. They have their biscuits. They're sitting pretty down here.
CS advantage to boot, too.
This is something I love about TSM's dual lane, is so often we mention how good they are at splitting lanes, especially loot lanes that you'd think they otherwise lose. I want to see them now if they can get a winning lane and smash it. And right now with Greek paying attention, oh, that's starting, excuse me. Not too surprised though, the junglers are starting to take visits down there.
Yeah, but he might have to go all the way around if he wants a gank to happen, because that's just a tri-brush ward. There's no ward up in the anywhere in the river that would spot him if he were to play to this side. And Mithy has Sweeper. He doesn't have wards to place down. So he goes around to clear vision, not to place it, and it leaves the pushing lane vulnerable.
You can also see a very different focus on kind of priorities here in the mid lane as far as itemization goes. Double Dark Seal is Damonte wanting immediate power, looking for kills early. Bjergsen goes boots and a null magic mantle. So he is just looking to survive to farm. He doesn't necessarily need to kill his opponent to be winning. If he is even going even in farm, Bjergsen is going to feel like he is winning this lane.
Yeah, and getting that before level 6. You need some magic resistance before level 6 comes out, or else it's kind of the rule of thumb against Ahris and Syndras. You really do need that as soon as possible, because you're looking to scale, you're not looking to smash the lane. And what's going to stop you from scaling is getting destroyed by the all-in from the assassin. Right here, Greg on that Infernal Drake has the smite. He's going to be able to pick that one up, and it's good off the bot lane pressure, but also he knew Dardoch was top to get the mark.
Yeah, Dardoch instead just got the crab, so Fox have to play to their strong side, which for the first time in this series is not the bot lane 2v2. Huni, though, kind of having a field day at 1v1 versus Haunter. Remember, this was a counter pick from Haunter, so Huni right now showing some of that early proficiency.
And part of the problem here with the Echobox comp, as Haunter getting a little trade in there, is that there's, as we talk about, there being very little engage. Where do you gank from Dardoch, right? You don't have a lot of CC in your kit, so unless someone just pushes way up, you can't really gank effectively on this Gnar. So maybe you can go to Bjergsen.
Damonte also trying to roam up. He's a good candidate as TP in from Fox. They really want to take this red buff here. And here's Smoothie coming in, does have the spell book, so that looks to be a red buff steal. Dardoch just waltzes in with 4 and takes it away.
Pretty big commitment, though, for that. They're actually going to expend the first Spellbook TP. One of the nice things about that, though, is it at least gets that rotation ticking through. Once you actually use 6 different summoner spells, you start getting them very, very fast. So Smoothie, not too afraid about using it liberally.
Yeah, and you want to do it very, very early on. People have like blown ignites, they've blown heals in just the lane.
They go.
Look at that, Bjergsen.
Oh, Bjergsen with a good scoop back, but again, dash back there for Demonte. Gonna force the flash out of the Azir. Here's Mithy. Actually gonna get things turned back around on Dardoch. Just wants to fight him. Smoothie's here in the mid lane, that's why. But a stun under the turret. Good ult there from Dardoch to stay alive.
Just barely, too, with the Lamb's Respite. And that is flash blown from Bjergsen, and then the ultimate from Dardoch. And a lot of the times when you're trying to gank these lanes and go for a turret dive, you need that Lamb's Respite to make it happen.
Yeah, and Dardoch just kind of chased forward into the Phantom Undertow there from Mithy. So he just walked into that stun under the turret and gave up more than he needed to. It was a good initial play, though, from them, trading out the ultimate for the flash from Demonte, because Demonte now, next time his ultimate is up, you can go for a Charm Flash on a Bjergsen. If you nail that, still having Ignite available, there is the possibility of the kill.
Cleanse there, though, from Bjerg, so it can keep away, but Dardoch, I like that he's kind of not doing as much farming, trying to pressure some of these lanes. He's been very proactive in the top half of the map.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to focus on farming because both Demonte and Lost are down in CS. Huni's up in CS. So you want to have at least another person who, when you go to 2-on-2s, you have somebody who's quite powerful. So using the Kindred's kind of early part of the game where you have an advantage in farm and speed over the Trundle is going to get him to his completed jungle items sooner than Grig.
I think Demonte also doing the right thing, just shoving the wave and then going to roam. This feels like you asking, where's the CC? It really does just come from Ahri, who can set up well when she has ulti.
And this vote at the bottom of the screen is so close, 49 to 51%. This is TSM that you're talking about. Like you said, 10 straight finals for them until last split. And it just seems like a lot of people have kind of jumped ship, lost faith, and kind of believed more in Echo Fox recently.
It's been a very close series so far. I think a tough one to call. And despite the fact that Sven and Mithy have established this big CS advantage, if Lost and Smoothie can stabilize and continue to farm and not give up kills, not give up the turret, they will be very relevant in later fights.
Yeah, the Kai'Sa will be incredibly relevant. They do have to worry about the counter of Bjergsen having a lot of damage, but question is, I'm watching Huni's ultis. He has TP right now. If he TPs in, there's potential for a turnaround, but it looks like they're ganking top on the side of Echo Fox.
Yeah, first blood on the table. Teams wants to try and grab it. Haunter, they're already in onto Huni. Dardoch here on the top side. Good equalizer. He's going to force the flash away. First blood gifted over as Dardoch collects it.
He gets the mark there, too. Very, very big. And Echo Fox deflect that pressure on the bottom side. 4 men from TSM went down. Smoothie and Lost back up. They do fall further behind in farm, but they get first blood topside.
And we talk about Echo Fox as a team. It's the bloody skirmishes. Those are what they usually go for. That's the MO. Right there, that's a classic Huni gank my lane type strategy. Go to top lane, get him ahead. And Huni, the rest of the team played around it perfectly with retreating on the bottom side.
Also got to remember, this was Haunter's counter pick. He is now, after this gank, going to lose his turret. He's down over 30 CS. It's solo gold being given on to Huni. This is a Huni-esque performance for the first time in a long time.
On one of the champions that he was known for. When he came to North America, it was like, boy, this guy has a Rumble that y'all need to see. And it's his Rumble, it's his GP. They've banned away one of them in the previous game, and 2 of them at some points. With the Rumble, he gets his hands on here, forces the flash with the equalizer, and Dardoch is right there to pick it up.
Exactly. Dardoch right there. Very well coordinated from the duo up on the top side. Double spell pen already done here for Huni. He's working towards likely a Haunting Guise, and he's going to be ready to go for team fights.
They also got the first turret and the Rift Herald off the map. So again, Dardoch's attention to detail in top lane has borne a lot of good fruit in recent memory. And now Bjergsen, he's trying to get out here. TSM must say, we can't split the map anymore. You guys have won top lane, so let's try and do something bot side. But so far, so good on the defense for Fox.
I mean, this is what they're giving up, though, right? Their bottom lane was already losing, and multiple times 4 men from TSM have been walking down this way, so the already losing bottom lane has to give up more. You can't win that heavily on both sides. If you're getting turret and a kill and Rift Herald, well, your bottom lane needs to just run away.
Yeah, and the awkward thing, too, is when your bottom lane wins and you get the first turret, you go, all right, time to swap the map, go to the top side, get Rift Herald. Their top lane won, they got Rift Herald, but you don't swap your top laner to bottom when the Ocean Drake is coming up. So you have to just have your losing 2-on-2 stay in the bad matchup. It's because the Drake is something that you need to contest for, and you can't have your power point of your top laner swap.
It's definitely a really good point, and we'll see how effective can Huni be, especially if he can get another full level, he needs to hit 11, but if he can get to that rank 2 ultimate before the next dragon fight, he has a lot of what he needs to really succeed in this team fight with double spell pen. And if you start to get people fairly low with that equalizer, then Damonte can fly in, Lost can fly in. You can look to really start to execute on some of those kills.
The teams are ramping up towards this Ocean Drake, which is now back and alive. Sven looking good with that Rod of Ages done, but maybe Dardoch actually abandoning that for now. He's going to get the bounty instead. Haunter is going to see him, so they know where he is. But Dardoch just wants to steal this red buff. Haunter started the leash for him.
It's a great steal from him. He gets the red. He's 3 levels above Grig right now. When you look at the gold, he's 1,200, he's 1,300 gold above Grig at this moment in time. Dardoch is actually just smashing him, and sure, he got the first blood. That's only 400 of that 1,200 gold.
He also has 3 marks already, so he's closing in on that 4-mark lead that you really, really want to hit. But this has been such a just clear divide on teams' priorities. TSM saying, yep, sorry, Haunter, we're going to sacrifice you. We'll give up everything on the top side. And Echo Fox is not even looking towards the bot side. They have sacrificed down there. You can see that also by where all the vision is from TSM so much throughout this bottom side Echo Fox jungle to protect Sven and Mithy and allow them to keep pushing.
Yeah, the issue, though, is when you go back to draft, you go, why do you pick the Gnar then if you're not going to focus it and try to counter the Rumble? Because you're giving the Rumble a freer lane at that point. And you're hoping maybe he can win it one-on-one and you focus the bottom side, but that has not been the story here at all.
Yeah, and that's where it becomes about that discussion, the argument of, is it worth picking something to just survive? And if you feel, hey, it's a strong matchup and I can be okay if I get focused, then maybe there is some sense to that. But that becomes arguments about which should you do? Should you snowball the winning matchup? You defend the losing matchup? And that is a very complicated question.
Fox again, though, doing a nice job with a ton of their pressure. Damonte getting the minions pushed in. Lost and Smoothie maybe a little too far forward, but Dardoch going to roam down. Vision of Empire will tag Smoothie, but Dardoch and Damonte roaming in.
Looks like they want to fight for this blue buff, try to take that away from Bjergsen, make him a little bit more vulnerable as Damonte will have to get out of there.
Charm going to miss. Damonte going to eat not too much of a trade there, though. And again, now Fox collapsing. Misty maybe too far forward. Blue buff again, still going to get fought for here. And that should be over. TSM just concedes the buff. Grig steals
got it.
And now actually maybe the fight is going to break out. There's the move back there. Smoothie though gets a massive promo on Dardoch. Takes down Mithy instantly. Now Sven going to bump his off, but here comes Huni in the choke point with the equalizer. Sven though charging up, but doesn't go over the wall. And now Haunter going to bounce back over onto Dardoch, but Lost. Oh, he's in onto Sven. He's going to try and take down the bot lane as fuck. Do dive here on the turret. Haunter is left out to dry, but Dardoch does ult. Damonte goes down though to Sven.
They're corralled now. Sven's still alive.
Too far forward. Sven though still going to die, but Dardoch is going to have to pay for it with his life. Echo Fox fumble that dive.
Yeah, TSM come up 3 for 1. It looked like it was going to be so good for Echo Fox, but their attention gets split. They get pulled apart. Half the team goes for Sven, who survives miraculously under turret, while the rest is chasing forward onto Bjergsen and can't finish him off either.
And Sven gets over 900 gold from that because he shuts down Dardoch. He gets another kill on top of it. Sven is now sitting at an advantage that's 1,500 gold for himself off this winning bottom lane. And this was off the blue contest. They want to contest it. Grig gets it anyway. But the play here from TSM to kind of stop it, and even though Smoothie gets a good ultimate, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was a great ultimate from Smoothie. They do get the initial kill very quickly, but Sven is so tanky at this point, and you can see the split focus. To me, Echo Fox needs to collapse down, kill off Sven, kill off Haunter. Instead, Dardoch and Huni are trying to stay up there, trying to fight on the top side of the map. Lost and Damonte and Smoothie are trying to go down for Sven, who still had his stopwatch, buys so much time with that. The return on the Q misses, Damonte dies, and then everything falls apart. A very mismanaged fight here from Echo Fox.
Yeah, that stopwatch coming up means a lot there because it saves him for a long time, allows him to get Dardoch afterwards and get that big cash control.
Well, TSM going to keep the goal close, and of course they still have a 2 Drake lead as the turrets are also tied. Fox again playing a little scrappy, but that does come with a few more associated risks. TSM deflected pressure this time.
And that's their strength, but it also, as we said, it's that kind of double-edged sword, right? Sometimes it is also their weakness. Sometimes they get a little bit too bloodthirsty. They expect to win on both sides, and instead of just guaranteeing a win on one side and killing Sven and maybe pressuring the turret, they end up trying to go for everything, and they get nothing.
Pressure not stopping though. Dardoch leaps onto Bjergsen, uses the smite on top of him. Dardoch able to Q out of the way, but Smoothie is going to block some of that here. Does get pulled back by Pike Q. The Fox still safe for now. Again, pressure on the Haunter. Demonte gonna try and line it up. Haunter, where can he really go?
Oh.
The Grom! Nice moves there from Haunter to make sure the charm could not land.
Those charms, they haven't been landing true pretty much at all for Demonte this game. You need to start landing those and get that extra damage because it's a large part of her kit now where it amplifies the damage of her abilities and actually the damage a person takes if the charm hits.
It's definitely critical, especially when you are going for this kind of more early game focus with, you know, the double Dark Seal. You have the Corrupting Potion. Doesn't even have one completed item at almost 18 minutes, right? So you really do want to start picking up those skills, start getting to a stronger point in the game very quickly, or Ahri can start to become less and less relevant.
Yeah, Bjergsen already finished that Nashor, so working pretty quickly on item number 2. Cooney is still very strong in the top lane though. So with Mountain Dragon up in a minute, maybe see Fox to continue that pressure, but it does feel like they'll have to fight for an objective again in just 50 seconds.
And Dardoch still has a huge lead. You know, he's still nearly 2 levels ahead. Greg just hit 11. He is 12 and, you know, is on 2 completed items. So they have another huge damage source from Dardoch.
And he also has 4 stacks now off of that dive. Got that kill. I think it was Sven who was marked at the end who finally picked it up. So he does
So
have
it's all worth.
pretty much everything he would want. I don't know about a 1 stack versus 300, 600 gold going to this person. I don't know, but you feel really good as a Kindred when you hit that point. You basically feel like your champion now has the ability to snowball in team fights and can team fight much more effectively.
And for Dardoch, someone that is kind of plagued by notoriety, this is someone that despite how good he has looked, he has never produced results at least enough to become a champion. So this is a man with his eyes on Worlds, looking to get stuff happen, but Smoothie may be caught out of position. Stand behind's over to Lost, but now Grig can be the target. It's going to be some good damage. Nice ult there, and that's the kill. Dardoch able to take him down. Smoothie that will get executed by Pike as Dardoch. Still trying to cut it out. He gets pulled back, Lambs despite his burn. Here comes Demonte, but Haunter going to zone him out of the way as Dardoch will escape. Hooney looking to save it all. Mithy takes down Dardoch, but Hooney able to grab this Sven, and now Demonte over the wall. Ulti there from Mithy, follows through. What a play by the Pike. Demonte did to Haunter. But Lost finds up the W, and somehow Mithy gets out of there.
I think that was blind too. I don't think he saw that he was actually right there. There was no vision on him. They knew that he was in the area, but then he just eased right out.
Another fight going slightly in TSM's way. It was the 3-for-2 in the extended fight, but Echo Fox pushing up mid here, trying to pressure a turret, and this game is dead even.
Bjergsen still has ultimate. If he can get in there, he can actually shove them into a position where it'd be very unfavorable.
Now they're on the Mithy, Lost again, burns the ulti, takes down Mithy, and now Bjergsen under threat, forced to swoop away. Still the turret is on Echo Fox's eyes.
It's on Hooney though.
But a mini wave dead. Bjergsen insta-wave cleared there. Now he's going to chase in, but doesn't go for the kill.
That's one where, that's a oops from Mithy, man. He's too far forward. It's 2 damage dealers on your turret versus 1 damage dealer, and then the Pike, who's very squishy, right? He doesn't get extra HP from buying HP items. He does have some durability in Aftershock, but it's still not enough, and I'm mounting for TSM.
Yeah, the fights just aren't stopping. Dardoch is around, but they won't be able to get this one, and this is a very explosive game. So scrappy, both teams putting all their confidence in their in-game team fighting.
It's an explosive game, but it's literally both teams are exploding back and forth. It's not one where one team is just smashing the game. All 3 games so far have been neck and neck. And I remember when we were talking in the middle of the week, Jat was even saying he's just sad that this matchup of Fox TSM is a quarterfinal happening so soon. Because both of these team styles, with the way they match up against each other, is so interesting to watch. But if you just look at the whole playoffs, there are so many teams, Team Liquid, Cloud9, TSM, Echo Fox, FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, all these matchups are just so great to watch. And this one here in particular in a quarterfinal is a treat.
Yeah, and here this is one more time, showing off that double marksman damage. Smoothie though, pretty far up, so Dardoch can't actually get the Lamster Spite in. And we're gonna have more action up here on the top side.
Ooh, Demonte stays in the brush, but there's the root landing in from Sven. Demonte now trying to get out of there and just dashes out to safety.
Yep, gotta get the dash. He still holds on to his flash, but it means that next time if they get him really quickly, they'll be able to get the flash. It's kind of, you have to gank him 3 times to make it stick and hope that those 3 ganks are within the time of the cooldown of the ultimate.
Good little bit of pressure though, not too much of a cost there for TSM, and the more they're keeping Demonte down, the more time is being bought for Bjergsen. He is now on 2 full items. That Banshee's Veil coming through makes it so much harder to ever pull off that assassination, because now you have to knock that off before you even look for a charm.
And this is kind of the result of banning out, I believe it was 6 mid lane champions from Demonte, taking away the Azir, and then he has to go down 7 champions in the pool potentially to the Ahri here into the matchup that was blind picked by Bjergsen.
Of note, Echo Fox did get the mid turret thanks to their additional pressure, although TSM were able to trade and get their third Drake, a mountain in exchange. Does feel like TSM right now able to try and apply pressure. Fox will counterpunch where they can, though.
Yeah, I mean, TSM has full control over the top side. Not only are they getting the turret, they're on the Baron. Echo Fox is nowhere nearby. They actually spotted Dardoch on a ward down by the bottom side of the map.
Oh, Mythy again. It's all been a bait. Lost is going to be the target. The ulti from Smoothie doesn't quite catch Bjergsen.
You have to watch out for these combos. Smoothie's ultimate plus the ultimate from Huni, if he's there, would be very devastating. But like Azael said at the beginning of the game, the engage from Echo Fox, it's not reliable.
Yeah.
Landing a charm, landing a Braum Q, it's kind of you have to combine things and make this makeshift pseudo-hard engage.
Huni, the turret's on him and he's pulled in.
Yeah, pulled back, stunned up again as well. Vision of Empire not going to quite slow him down as he pops the shield.
Flank from Hanser.
Also full rage possessed. Actually, Demonte going to get caught up and pulled back. There's the ulti from Huni, but here's Hanser in Mega Knight form. Dardoch going to try and cut it out. He scoots him out of the way, and now Dardoch in the center of the team. But Smoothie's able to block it, and Demonte dashes out from the follow-up pull by Sven.
And they weren't able to reinforce Hanser on that nice scoop backwards. TSM, they had the position on the Baron before. They get run around the map, and then they look for a play that it could have been good. Hanser had the setup, but the team is just not right in position.
And that is one of the things you can do with these sorts of compositions that Echo Fox is running. You have 4 huge damage-dealing threats. If you are segmented, everyone just turns on you and blows you up.
The trades continue. Here is TSM will finally get themselves a turret lead, take down the outer ring, and finish off the mid turret. So again, they'll spend their gold. Huni pressuring here in the bot side, trying to set up and trade these turrets out. And we talked about the explosive game. Teams are in an instant rushing to Baron, it feels like.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking a second ago, I was like, I remember Echo Fox got Rift Herald. They did get Rift Herald. It actually expired and they never used it. So they didn't even get that extra pressure off of getting that objective early. And so they're a little bit more behind than they should have been in this game in terms of, I mean, they're ahead right now, but they're behind in terms of where they would be if they had actually been able to do that. So right now they're just getting kind of pressured all around and they need some type of relief.
Yeah, at the very least, even if you just drop it and make someone respond, you can pressure elsewhere on the map. You know, you're hoping that you get something from that. So definitely, you know, a bit of a mental error from Dardoch, and that is something that can be very taxing in these series. It's such high pressure. There are so many things you're trying to think about, and sometimes you do forget about those basics.
And he was the one who was set up with 3 kills at the start. But
Here comes Huni.
Huni again trying to line it up. Good equalizer there. They're going to try and look for the carries, but Bjergsen gets away and pops the stopwatch still. The rest of Echo Fox move forward. Demonte, he's found quick on the other side. They might be able to pick the jungler. He does get it. Demonte able to get the kill on Trundle. Smoothly pass back towards his teammates.
They could go to Baron here now. Grig is down. That kill was so important for Demonte, and it's his first of the game. They're onto the Baron. Can they secure it?
Ult here for Bjergsen, though. He might be able to make a big play. Mithy and Sven going to try and poke him out of the way. The Baron is there.
watch Mithy for the ultimate.
Goes in again. Baron to Echo Fox, but can they get out safely? They pop the Lancers, fight the move forward. Bjergsen, they caught him. They tagged him with Braum, passed him, and now Sven. He's dead as well. The TSM carries put to ruin as Fox keep chasing.
Fox get the Baron and they're chasing him down. Lost gonna go in.
Lost wants it. He can see Mithy there forward. Does pop the ult. No, not quite. And there's no follow-up chase. For Fox, they get the Baron again, and once more they're in the lead.
And that was a big-time play there from Huni, coming in with that teleport, making something happen for the team. We talked about the poor engage. Well, how about this TP flank from Huni, layering the equalizer across the team, roasting up everyone. They have to go full into disengage.
When you're having a bad day, you have the flu, go for comfort, man. Get your pillow, get your blanket, get your comfort champion. Pull up with the rumble with the TP flank from Huni. Beautifully placed there to just scorch TSM. He doesn't get any kills, but he forces 4 people, 3 people to back up and gives them space for the Baron.
And I really like this actually preemptive ult from Dardoch as they want to go forward. There are low HP bars, no chance for them to TSM to go forward on a Smoothie and get that kill or really go for any sort of play. It's full commitment. Burst down Bjergsen, and they're on to the Infernal. The fights don't stop.
This is really important because Bjergsen tries to scoot Demonte, but he misses. And Fox really needs to keep this Infernal out of TSM. That's Dardoch. He does get it. Grig not able to steal that one, and now they've actually caught Sven. He's going to get stunned. He dies as Lost goes unstoppable.
Another great equalizer there to catch out a member of TSM. Sven gets roasted. They have Baron. They have the Infernal. This is a push mid from Echo Fox.
But what was Sven doing? They're so separated from the rest of his team. 4 members on the right side. He walks in solo, gets burned down. Echo Fox can be pressuring in Hibs here, knocking down a lot of turrets.
And TSM, we looked at their composition. It's supposed to be these double mages just wave clearing, causing pressure, poking, and then it's hard to engage on them. Hooney's equalizers are causing these engages to just be forced. We said, don't have hard engage. This one is turning out to be.
And this is reminiscent of game number 1, where the Kai'Sa was supposed to be pressured, Kai'Sa was supposed to be behind. It is now Lost, who is ahead in farm, who is 5-0-4. Reaching late game on this Kai'Sa is going to be a monstrous threat, and Dardoch with 8 marks.
8 marks is a huge boon for him. It's not just the range, it's the extra attack speed, it's the extra percent HP damage. And Mythy,
TSM, look like they're getting desperate. Mythy, he has to make these plays, but Fox have so much damage on their team comp. They have such a good lead against TSM. And TSM know if they commit, they will evaporate.
and I would love to see the gold right now because it's about 1,000, 2,000, 1,500 between the laners. But then you look at Dardoch, he is 3 levels up over Grig. He is about 3,500 gold, almost 4,000 gold up over Grig. He's on a carry, yes, but he has been putting in the work. He is doing amazingly right now. He has the most gold on his team.
And you can see that early game focus where he was focusing on farm, focusing on playing around the top side, taking camps away from Grig. That has paid off. And all the time that Grig spent shadowing bottom lane, trying to get Sven and Mythy this edge, trying to execute on a dive, never panned out. And now the Swain has certainly been outscaled.
Yeah, and the fact that Grig Trundle can usually recover from a position like this because if he has a tank to kind of mooch off of, leech those stats, he's going to have more effective kind of inventory or combat stats. He doesn't have that in this game because Echo Fox went real
They're
quick.
looking.
TSM got to get creative here, but Smoothie are getting a good pull back around. Whilst though moving forward, Dardoch jumps straight to the team. And Demonte, he found the trap. Dirksen's dead. Lust just dives in and shuts that down. Sven, he's dead as well. TSM lose 3 in almost an instant. And Dardoch, he smells it. He knows when he grabs the ace, the game is there. That might be it. Mythy, he falls.
You don't need the ace here. They're going to clean this one up. Echo Fox going to push TSM to match point.
And Hooney says, I may be ill, but test me again. I dare you. Echo Fox run over TSM and push themselves to match point.
You can see the smile on Hooney's face. That was a sick Rumble game.
Those equalizers were some of the best of the split for sure, really showing how dominant he can be in these team fighting. And credit to so many of the members, Dardoch, Hooney, and Lost again, showing up in a tough matchup, being put behind, not being given